So, you ever notice how someone who doesn't seem that bright is somehow making way more money than you? You start wondering, are they secretly some kind of genius? Here's the truth. They're probably just as clueless as you think they are. But here's what most people miss. Intelligence can help build wealth, sure, but it's often overrated. In fact, it might be the very thing keeping you broke. In this video, we're breaking down why being smart doesn't make you rich, how the so-called dumb ones get wealthy without trying, and most importantly, how to actually use your intelligence to win. Because when you do, you become unstoppable. Welcome to Gorilla Mascot. Let's start with what I call the intelligence myth. Growing up, everyone's told that being smart is the ultimate key to success. The top students are expected to crush exams, go to elite colleges, and eventually dominate their careers. Meanwhile, everyone else is told, sorry, life's gonna be hard. And that idea sticks. That's why so many people spend years chasing one degree after another, believing more education automatically means more income. Society idolizes intelligence. But if intelligence alone created millionaires, then the richest people on earth would be scientists, doctors, and professors. Instead, take Richard Branson. He had dyslexia, failed in school, and dropped out at 16. No college, no clear plan. Yet he launched a magazine, then a record shop, then a label, then an airline, and eventually a space company. He's worth billions, and he's no typical genius. Now compare that to Nikola Tesla, an undeniable genius. He invented alternating current, the foundation of modern electricity. His inventions could have made him richer than anyone alive. But Tesla lacked business sense. He died broke, and yes, supposedly in love with a pigeon. Look it up. Tesla's story proves something powerful. You can read every book, earn every degree, and have a brilliant mind, but even genius doesn't guarantee wealth. Sometimes being too smart actually holds you back. Now let's talk about the real reasons smart people struggle with money. Imagine two people standing before a massive maze. One's a genius, the other's just average. At the end of the maze, everything you dream of, wealth, freedom, success. The genius sits down, trying to map the entire maze before moving an inch. The regular guy, he just walks in. He hits dead ends, makes mistakes, bumps into walls, but he keeps going. Every wrong turn teaches him something new. Slowly but surely, he moves closer to the goal. Meanwhile, the genius is still at the entrance, overanalyzing. Who do you think wins? Obviously the regular guy. Even with endless mistakes, he eventually figures it out. The genius, still drawing lines on paper, terrified of messing up. And that's the issue. When you're told you're smart your whole life, your identity becomes the smart one. So failing feels like losing who you are. That's why so many smart people stay in school forever. Bachelor's, master's, PhD, but never actually start a business. Because failure would mean, maybe I'm not that smart after all. So yeah, failure hurts worse when your ego's attached to your intellect. That's why the so-called dumb ones have an edge. They don't overthink. They don't care about looking smart. They care about winning. For them, failure is just feedback. But for the genius, it's an identity crisis. That's why action takers rise. They're not afraid to look stupid or to fall flat. They know failure doesn't define them. Their response does. And the truth is, people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep moving through failure. Now here's the deeper problem. Intelligence becomes a trap when it causes overthinking. That's what we call analysis paralysis. But here's the good news. There's a cure. People who escape this mental trap don't have special brains. They've simply mastered two key skills. The first is execution, the art of taking action. Think of ideas like seeds. They only grow when planted, watered, and nurtured. Ideas are everywhere. Execution is rare. Jeff Bezos didn't invent online shopping. He just executed it better than anyone. That's why Amazon rules e-commerce today. Everyone has brilliant ideas, new businesses, books, skills to learn, but few actually act on them. Even if you had Einstein's brain, it wouldn't matter if you never used it. Inspiration is easy, execution is everything. And here's the thing, execution isn't a personality trait. It's a trainable skill. Anyone can build it with discipline and repetition. That's the first key. The second is social intelligence. Take Steve Jobs. He wasn't Apple's top engineer. He didn't write code or design the circuits. But he had vision, charisma, and the power to sell ideas. He convinced the best engineers in the world to join him. He made people believe. Apple didn't win because Jobs was a coding genius. It won because he knew how to rally people behind his mission. And that's where most people fail. They think wealth is about knowledge, but it's really about connection. Money flows to those who can inspire trust, build relationships, and move people to action. That's what social intelligence is. High IQ helps you solve problems. High social IQ helps you create opportunities. People don't invest in spreadsheets. They invest in stories and vision. Customers don't buy products. They buy emotions and identity. Success isn't just technical. It's human. It's communication, persuasion, and leadership. So how do you stop doubting yourself and actually start building wealth? It all comes down to mindset. And if you live by these 3 rules, you'll outpace everyone, no matter how smart they think they are. Rule number 1. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Life isn't a trial run. You can't test success, you have to jump in. You can plan for years, but until you take real action, it's all theory. So stop asking what if. Ask what's next, and do it. Rule number 2. Don't fear mistakes. Every day you're writing a story without a script. There's no GPS for success. You're going to fail sometimes, and that's okay. Failure means progress. Rule number 3. Prioritize people, not just ideas. Even the best ideas mean nothing if you can't communicate them, because ideas only matter when they reach real people, and that requires leadership and storytelling. Remember, it's not what you say that counts, it's how it makes people feel. At the end of the day, the gap between the successful and the unsuccessful isn't intelligence, it's action. Because here's the truth. Action beats intelligence every single time. And that's the wrap for today. Thanks for watching. Until next time.